Good morning, everyone. In the previous session of consumer behavior, I explained about the scope of consumer behavior. In this session, we are going to discuss a new topic, that is interdisciplinary contribution to consumer behavior, which means how various other line of studies, how various other disciplines has influence over the consumer behavior, or we can say the influence over the study of consumer behavior. Now, there are different types of subject which has contribution towards the study of consumer behavior. Now, first of all, I am going to explain what is a discipline. Discipline means a different line of study, and these line of study focus on particular areas. Now, there are various types of areas, various types of studies and disciplines which has major contribution on the consumer behavior pattern. Now, first of all, let us see what are the various types of disciplines, what are the various disciplines which has influence over the study of consumer behavior. Here you can see that there are 5 types of disciplines which has major contribution towards the study of consumer behavior. That is economics, psychology, sociology, social psychology, and cultural anthropology. So these are the 5 disciplines, other disciplines which have major influence and contribution towards the study of consumer behavior. Now here it says that as we are part of an environment, we are regularly affected by the external environment, the changes in the external environment. And because such kind of changes, our decision making process also changes. The way we consume product, what type of product we consume, that also changes. Now, whenever we make a purchasing decision, it is highly influenced, or we can say that it is backed by certain reasons, motives, and need. Now, for example, if suppose we are using a computer and we are using internet in it, so obviously it is better to use an antivirus so that our laptop or computer can be protected from hackers and other things which can steal our data, steal our information, which can cause different kinds of problems for us. So in order to protect us from that kind of issue, we install an antivirus so that our laptop, our information, our data can be protected from the hackers. Now, this purchase of antivirus is backed by the emotion which is fear of losing data, fear of even losing money and other things. So, what I'm trying to say here is that whenever we make a decision, it is backed by certain emotion. It can be fear, it can be pride, and it can be backed by certain reasons like necessity. Like suppose food is extremely necessary to survive. So for that reason, we have to purchase food, we have to eat food, we have to drink water, we need shelter. These are the necessary items without which, as a person, as a human being, we cannot survive. So whatever decision we make, whatever product we purchase, we back our decisions, we back our purchase of product decision by certain kind of logical thinking, or certain kind of decision, certain kind of fear, or certain kind of emotion, or certain necessities. So here we are going to discuss how these different disciplines contribute towards the study of consumer behavior. Now here you can see on the slide that there are 5 different types of disciplines which has major contribution towards the study of consumer behavior. Now here what I am going to say that economics, we all know it's all about demand, supply, and other things. Psychology, sociology. Now these each and every discipline has certain elements in it which has influence on our buying decision. Let us take example of our attitude or our personality. Whenever we purchase a dress, whenever we purchase a dress or a shoe or even certain kind of accessories, we always see that it needs to go with our attitude or personality. So that aspect of sociology has influence on our decision making process regarding purchase of a product. So that there are various elements which come under these disciplines, and they have major influence on us. So here it says that how these influence can be studied, to what extent these elements influence our decision. Now by the study of these disciplines, a marketer, a company can actually understand to what extent these disciplines have, these elements of different disciplines have influence over the buying behavior of a consumer, and how they can manage, they can take advantage of such information regarding the buying behavior of the consumer. So it is beneficial for the company point of view, and it is also beneficial from the employee point of, from the consumer point of view, because we get different types of product which can satisfy our needs, which can satisfy our wants. So it is beneficial for both the consumers as well as for the marketers. So here you can see that there are five types of interdisciplines or disciplines which contribute, which has influence over the consumer behavior or behavior of a consumer. Okay. Behavior. Now in this slide you can see there are five disciplines, and these, and what are the elements which comes under these disciplines. Now in the first point, that is the economics, we can see there are 4 points, that is demand, supply, income and purchasing power. Or there are other elements also, but these are the 4 major elements which influence a consumer, which influence the buying decision of a consumer. So we are going to explain, I'm going to explain that what are these, to what extent these different elements of economics has influence over the consumer behavior. Next one is psychology. Now in psychology you have need, perception, motivation, personality, attitude, learning. These are the different elements which come under psychology, and they have a major contribution towards the behavior of a consumer. Why do we purchase a product? Because we need a product, because it suits our personality, because it matches our attitude. So these are the various reasons which influence our decision making process. Then the third one is sociology. Sociology is about society, different classes of society, that is social class, esteem, power, status. Now many people purchase product only because to show off their status, because they think that they have high status and they need to possess certain kinds of products in order to reflect, which will reflect their high status. So these are the various things which influence the buying behavior of a consumer. Next one is social psychology. Social psychology means group behavior, to what extent different groups have influence over the consumers. As a person, we always want to become part of a group. We cannot survive individually. We need certain groups, even one or more than one, to feel a sense of belongingness. So these groups also have major influence on the products that we use, the choices that we make regarding different types of product. Next one is cultural anthropology. Now culture is backed by different set of values, beliefs, customs, traditions, rituals. These are the things that comes under culture. Now as a human being, we always be part of certain kind of culture through which we get our beliefs, we get our values and other things. And these things also have major influence on our behavior pattern. Okay, so I will explain about each and every discipline and to what extent they influence the behavior pattern, the behavior of a consumer. So the first point that we are going to discuss is economics. Now economics is a traditional discipline which always follow one principle, that human beings are rational. What does it mean? Rational here means that whatever decision we make, it is backed by certain kind of logic. We do not make illogical decision, we do not take irrational decision. So whatever product we consume, we have proper justification behind that purchase, that why do we need a particular product. Take example of a toothbrush. We purchase a toothbrush because we want to clean our teeth. That is a logical reason behind purchasing a toothbrush. So economics works on the major principle that we as rational beings, we always take decision with proper justification and with proper logic. And another aspect it focuses on that choices. As human beings, we cannot be forced to purchase only one product. We need choices so that we can make right decision. Now, right decision, what does it mean? See, for example, there are variety of products, which means you have the liberty to choose a product which will satisfy your needs to the optimum extent. That is the role of choices. But what if we don't have any alternatives? When we don't have any alternatives, we will purchase whatever is available, but we may not be satisfied. We may not obtain optimum satisfaction from those products that we have purchased. So choices are also very integral or very important part of a decision making process. So under economics, it assumes or it follows the basic principle that human beings are rational. They take rational decision with proper set of mind, proper state of mind, and we also need to have various choices so that we can take the right decision. Now, what are the different elements of economics which actually influence the decision making process of a consumer? So the first point here says that demand and supply. Now, demand means the requirement or the consumption of a product. Now, why do we demand a product? Because we want to consume it, either because of different kinds of, either we need it, it can be a necessary items, or it may be a luxury item. But this demand is very much connected with the price. Usually what happens, if the price of a product increases, the demand of that product decreases, because some people may not afford that kind of money, that increase in price. They don't think it is justified to spend that much amount of money for a particular product. So demand has a very, or we can say that price has major influence on the demand of the product. Now let us discuss the another point, that is the supply. Now what is supply here means? Supply means the availability of the product to the consumers, the production. Now companies indulge themselves in creating the products which are demanded by the consumer. And for that purpose, they also estimate the demand of the consumers in advance, so that they will be ready with those products to fulfill the requirements of the consumer. So we can say that the study of economics will help the companies, will help the marketers to estimate or predict the demand of the consumers in advance, prepare or use their resources in a proper way so that they can produce the products and they can supply the product at the right point of time. Now there is another element in this. See, if a marketer or if a company can predict or they can estimate the demand of the product, whatever resources they have, they can put those resources to a proper use. So if a company does not understand, does not make a study on estimating the demand of the product or demand of the consumers, they will produce a product according to their understanding, according to their feeling that what kind of things people will demand. That will lead to the wastage of various resources. So if the company can understand the demand aspect of the consumers, they can create a product by using all the resources in a proper way, and those products will also be able to satisfy the needs and requirements of the consumer. So that's why study of economics is very important, because it has a major influence on the buying pattern or buying behavior of the consumer. Now let us discuss the another point which comes under economics, which has major influence on the consumer or the consumer behavior pattern. The second one says that income and purchasing power. Now what is income? Income is the money that we earn. Now this income can also be divided into two categories. The first one is disposable income, and the second one is discretionary income. Now disposable income is the income that we get after deduction of certain amount of tax, what is imposed by the government. So after deduction of tax from the income, we get the amount of money. So that is our disposable income, which means this income is now ready to get disposed or ready to get used in purchasing different types of product. Second one is discretionary income. Now discretionary income is after spending a certain amount of money on the necessary items like food, water, shelter, all those things. These are the necessary items. After spending this amount, after spending a certain amount from the disposable income on these items, whatever is left, that is considered to be discretionary amount. Now this discretionary income cannot be spent very easily, because people do not spend the amount of money if they are not willing to spend. That is the most important factor behind spending the amount of the discretionary income, because necessary items obviously we have to purchase, not in large quantity, in small quantity also we can purchase. But what about the things that are not necessary for us? So in that case, a certain kind of willingness is required to use that discretionary income to spend that income. If the spending is not backed by the willingness, nobody is going to spend that money. They are going to keep it for future consequences. So they are going to keep it. Now this discretionary income can only be spent if if the person is willing to spend on certain item, that is more than the necessary items. Okay, so this is about the income aspect. Now let's go to the purchasing power. Purchasing power means to what extent the money is able to purchase a certain kind of element, that is the purchasing power of a consumer. Means a certain level of income, with a certain level of income you cannot purchase everything. So you have to focus on the priority basis. So you have to first of all understand what are the items which are extremely necessary for us, and then give priority to those items, because the income may not be sufficient to purchase each and everything. So on a priority basis, we are going to spend the money. That is the purchasing power. How much amount of money we have, and to what extent, what are the things that can be actually purchased with that kind of money, or with that amount of money. So that is a income and purchasing power. So study of economics and understanding demand and supply, understanding income and purchasing power will help the companies to actually understand how these things influence the consumer behavior, and how they can use the study of these disciplines in order to make a better study on the consumer behavior. Now let us discuss the another disciplines which contributes heavily to the consumer behavior. Now the second subject or second discipline that we are going to study is psychology. Now as you all know, psychology is the study of mind. Means why we think in a particular way, what are the things that influence our thinking pattern. So these are the things which influence, there are certain elements due to which we have certain kind of thinking. Now it actually creates a link between understanding an individual mind and how it takes a decision. Now it simply means that suppose you take a decision, like in the economics it is said that human beings are very rational. Whatever decision they take on the basis of a logic. There is a logic behind each and every decision made by a human being. Now this psychology helps to understand how human mind, how individual minds actually works while taking a decision. What are the things that come to our mind when we take a decision? That is the psychology. Now this psychology aspect is actually different from person to person. You may purchase a product and there may be a different reason behind it. Your friend will purchase the same product, but the reason behind purchasing the item will be completely different. That is because of the psychology. So every consumer has a different kind of thinking, different way they behave, and these are the things that influence the consumer behavior. Now you can see on the slide that what are the factors which affect the consumer behavior. That is need and motivation, personality and consumer behavior, means how personality is affecting consumer behavior. Then we have perception, learning and attitude. Okay, so these are the things which has major influence on the study of consumer behavior. Okay, so in the first point you can see need and so the first point that you all can see is need and motivation. Need means why do we actually need a product? Actually need means that deprivation of something, that there are certain things which we don't have but we require for certain reasons, like food. We require food to live, to survive. We need shelter so that we can stay protected. So these are the things that encourage us to purchase a product. Like when we feel thirsty, what do? We just go and have a glass of water. That is the necessity. So need is something which we don't have, but without which it is very difficult to live for us. So there are certain items without which we cannot survive. That is the basic necessity. So need is something which encourages us to purchase a product, to consume a product. So that is also a part of psychology which affects the consumer behavior pattern. Now you must have heard people say that I cannot live without this, I cannot live without that. Nowadays smartphone is very important for everyone. They cannot live without smartphone, but they actually can. But there is some other things without which they cannot even live, like food, shelter, water, and if in case of if you have certain kind of problems in your health, you need to take certain medicines without which your survival may be difficult for you. So that is the need aspect. Now what is motivation? Motivation here means behind purchase of every product there is a certain motive because of which we purchase a product. Now this motive may be of some various types of reason. Why do we actually purchase a product? Because we want to have it in our possession, or we require it for certain reason, or it is our basic necessity. So these are the things that encourage us to purchase a product. For example, if you see a kid near an ice cream shop, when they see that, they get influenced by it, they want to have a ice cream, because that is how people react to certain things. Kids want to have something sweet all the time. They want chocolates or ice cream. So whenever they come across those kind of shops, they ask their parents to purchase that. That is some certain kind of motivation. By seeing a thing, they get motivated. They feel that they don't have it and they require it. So they go and purchase the item. That we can understand, that we can say that is a part of motivation. The second point is personality and consumer behavior. Now personality is a term we can say that you come across on a daily basis. But what does a personality actually means? Personality is not about looks, your appearance, your height, what kind of things you wear, but these are the things through which you can represent yourself. Now these are the basic characteristics or traits of an individual which differentiates from one person to another, which creates a difference between a person to person. Now this type of personality, this set of characteristics and feature will help you to purchase certain product, because you think that these products will actually suit your personality. Clear? See, when you go to an office, when you work as an employee, you dress up very formally because you feel that as an employee, we need to have a formal type of look. So that is you when you're going to work. But casually, whatever you wear, it depends upon your likes and dislikes. So personality here means a set of characteristics which define you, which makes you different from other person. Now this has a major influence on the things that we things that we purchase, whether it is shoe, whether it is a set of dress, or whether the things that we consume, the lifestyle that we have. So these have major contribution towards the, we can say, the buying behavior. The second one is perception. So what is perception? Perception means our point of view, the way that we look upon different types of things, the way we understand. Now I'll just give a simple example. Suppose you're on a road, there are various types of things, various number of people around you, there are various types of activities are happening around you. You can see all those activities, but you will only remember those activities which you think is important for you, which seems to be very shocking to you, surprising to you, different to you, and even similar to you. So that is the thing that you accept. These are the stimuli. Now, as a human being, we are surrounded by a number of stimuli, but these stimuli do not have greater impact. Every stimuli cannot influence us, but there are certain stimuli which influence us based on our personality, our point of view, our thinking process, and everything. So that is perception. Now, perception is very much important from the study of consumer behavior, or we can say that from the point of view of study of consumer behavior. So take example like TCS. TCS is considered, or we can say Tata, the whatever product is manufactured by Tata, the Tata group of company is one of the, or we can say the most respectable company in India. We trust their product on a, like we don't even think twice before purchasing a product. Same thing happens with Amul. Now Amul is a product, dairy product that we purchase on a regular basis without thinking twice. This is an Indian brand. This is this has high quality, this satisfy our needs, and it is also not very expensive. We can say that it actually represents the image of our country. So we relate ourselves with certain brands because that is our perception. In present scenario, we do not want to purchase a product which is manufactured outside India. So that may be the perception of certain people. Now, there are different brands which focus on that, a particular thing, that we are an Indian brand. We manufacture products on our, we use the raw material from India. It is a complete Indian brand. The taxes are paid to India. So that is, these kind of things will influence the perception of the people, and people having the feeling that we want to purchase something which is Indian, they will get influenced by these products. So every company has to focus on the perception of the consumer if they want to sell any product, if they want to modify any kind of product. So the next point in the psychology is learning. Now, as a human being, we can say that learning is something that we do on a daily basis, knowingly, unknowingly. If I'm supposed to explain learning in a simple term. So learning means when we understand something, when we interpret something, something means the information. When we understand certain set of information and then we interpret, when we gain knowledge, this is the learning process. Now this learning process is a continuous process. We cannot say after a certain point of time that we have learned everything. We don't have anything else to learn. So that is not a, we can say that that is not learning. Nobody can say that they have acquired every knowledge, every kind of knowledge, and they don't have anything to learn. So learning is a continuous process, and people keep on learning on a daily basis, and this learning affects our buying behavior. Now usually what happens in today's time period, whenever we purchase a product, first of all we do a research on the product, we collect information regarding the product, so that we will understand whether this product has those kind of features that we actually require or not. Is it going to be beneficial in terms of money? Is it going to give us the amount that we've spent on the product? Is it actually worth it? So these are the things. We gather information. We also analyze information. We compare products, one products with other. So that happens in the learning process. So nowadays it is very common that people gathering information, learning about different products before making any kind of purchase. So here we can say that learning is one of the most important aspect of psychology, which has major influence on the buying behavior of a consumer. And for that reason, every company, every marketer needs to understand this learning aspect. Now the last point here is that attitude. What is an attitude? We can say that attitude is constant, but attitude also changes. When we learn different things, our attitude changes. Suppose you don't like a brand, you never liked a brand because you heard something about that company, about the brand, about the side effects of the product. But after a point of time, the product was improved, motivated, and it has major market share in the market. So that may change your attitude towards the product, the way you think about the product. And whatever purchase we make, we keep in mind that it suits our needs, our personality, it comes in accordance with our perception, we gather information, and it matches our attitude. So these are the things which actually has major influence on the, we can say, the consumer behavior pattern. So these are the major 2 points, major 2 disciplines which I have explained in this session. In the next session, I am going to explain the other 3 disciplines like sociology, social psychology, and culture anthropology in detail, so that you can understand how these different disciplines has contribution in the behavior pattern of a consumer, and why do marketers and companies actually need to understand these disciplines in order to understand the behavior of a consumer. So that's it for today. So in the next session, I am going to explain the remaining points of interdisciplinary contribution to consumer behavior. Thank you.